Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Last you call, we were talking about Taters Inc. and their want or need to upgrade operating systems. Well, I have some great and fantastic news for you. They have decided to go with Windows 10 Enterprise. One of the biggest things that we need to talk about when you are upgrading to a new operating system is training. There are other components to go with it, but I feel like training is one of those huge key components when it comes to rolling out a new operating system. So, as you know, we use Windows 10, or we're going to be using Windows 10. We're coming from Windows XP. So, it's going to look very different, and I don't want any of you to be scared or worried that you're going to be lost. While it is a huge step, there are a couple of operating systems in between. Windows 10 is very user-friendly, and the training is going to help you not feel overwhelmed or stressed out or lost. So one of the key things that's going to look different is the layout. So as you can see here, we have a Windows XP layout. And then this is what a Windows 10 layout looks like. So as you can see, it's quite different, but and to me, it's more simplified, it's more sleek, more professional. Another thing we have is the Windows XP File Explorer. If you can see, you know, it's very childlike almost, very, I don't know what you would call it, very, very basic, not something you would expect in a professional environment. But here we have Windows 10 File Explorer, and as you can see, you have access to a lot of information. So it's really a nice hub to get where you're going, because you can pin favorites right here, things that you consider that you would access the most, and then you have all the things you would access down here. So your desktop, your documents, your downloads, music, the C drive, any network drives that you have, they're going to all be right there for you. Another thing is when you click on an object, it'll tell you the file size, things like that. So stuff that you wouldn't necessarily get from Windows XP, you have access to in Windows 10. Another thing is the start menu is vastly different. So if you see here, you have your icons of your programs, and then you have to, go into other programs, and then you have access to the File Explorer over here. With Windows 10, you have your programs right here in a list, your settings button right there, and then you can pin the programs or applications or files that you use most to be right there. So the minute you go into the start menu, bam, you're ready to go. Another thing that's different is going to be the search result, and that's something I feel we use quite often is the search bar. So if you see here, it kind of looks like the File Explorer. It doesn't seem to be very advanced, very plain, very simple. Whereas in Windows XP, look at all the options you have. You can ask Cortana, and if you don't know what Cortana is Microsoft's version of Siri or Google Assistant. And then you can also ask Cortana to search within your applications, within your documents, and within the web. So you have this very robust search tool right in this simplified little menu for you. So why do we need training? Training is there to ensure that workers are comfortable with their new operating system so that they can do their jobs and not really lose productivity or time. One of the key things with a new operating system, like I said, is training. And then how we'll roll out that training is it'll be half the departments, it'll be based on the rollout of the operating system, and how we've decided to do that is half of each department will receive Windows 10 at a time, so that we're not at a loss for productivity if something goes wrong. And then members of the IT staff will start training presentations, and we'll go a little more into depth in that. And a big thing about training is it eliminates confusion that could lead to reduction in productivity. A huge thing that training is tied to is the rollout. So I'm going to go over a little bit about the rollout with you as well. So Windows 10 will be rolled out in phases, as you can see, half the departments at a time. We've decided to start with the IT department, of course, then administration, and then sales, because we feel those are the top departments. Next, and that will ensure that the company can provide training to the other departments while Windows 10 is being rolled out. And then the training itself will also continue over a 4-week time span. So the first week, like I said, is going to be IT, administration, and sales, and then the rest of the company will get trained over the next 3 weeks. Week 2 will consist of the finance, R&D, and shipping, and then as you can see, week 3 and 4 will train maintenance and the main warehouse. And as I said, training will coincide with the rollout. We will also have printed materials with Windows 10 tips available for those who need them during and after training. I think having something you can touch and something you can refer to on a regular basis is huge when it comes to training, because you're not always going to be able to ask so-and-so a question. You're not always going to be asked Mike the IT a question. You're not always going to be able to come to me for a question because, we may be out of the office, we may be in a conference call. It's not that we don't want to help you, we just may not be available. Or you might be at home and you might think of something. So having those materials there for you, I think, will be a great tool. Then our training cost strategy, given that we have a budget, we've come up with quite a wonderful idea. So to stay within that budget, our IT staff is going to become Microsoft certified trainers. And what that will allow them to do is train you on any Microsoft product they have available. And they will be able to give you top to bottom training, and it won't take away from your work time because they can train in-house and they will have tools available to them to help aid with that training. We will also send the administrative staff to Windows 10 training at New Horizons, so they'll get the user aspect of it, and then they'll be able to provide support to the IT staff during training. And then the IT staff is going to come back and train the rest of the company using a very great video library called Instructor Neil Videos. I think it's a wonderful tool library. There's a vast array of Windows videos to help you guys learn how to use Windows 10. And the cost breakdown is good. So we had a $15,000 budget, and we stayed well within it, as you can see. This cost to have the IT staff become Windows certified trainers or Microsoft certified trainers is $400 per person. So that came out to about a cost of $3,200 for the 8 IT staff members. And then the Windows 10 training at New Horizons is $300 per person. I know it seems like a bit much, but they go over so much, and I think this will help the admin staff be able to provide some great support to the IT staff. So that came out to $9,600 for all 32 admin staff. And then, of course, the Instructor Neil video is free. And I think in the IT world, we all love the word free. And then, in conclusion, the IT staff will become certified trainers to mitigate the costs, and I think that's huge because, we need to save money. We're still a growing company, and, upgrading to Windows 10, not only do we have the software licenses to buy, but some of our machines have to be upgraded, so we have to factor that in too. So, and then if you think about it, sending the whole entire staff, all 300 members out to be trained, that's going to cause confusion and be a bit hectic, and I don't think that'll lead to constant productivity. And then the admin staff will be able to back up the IT staff. And then I've spoken with Instructor Neil personally, and he's so pleased that we're going to be using his videos. And I've worked with this gentleman before, and I think these videos are great, and I think the staff is going to love them, and I think they're going to be able to learn and be able to take that back and function in a very fluid way on their day-to-day. And that is all I have for you. Thank you, folks, and have a great evening.